Hello, and thank you for joining me today. This is Jessica. I am a library clerk with the Macedon Public Library. I'm here today to talk a little bit about mindfulness and um, how mindfulness is different for kids than probably what adults are used to. So today we're just going to go into a little bit of information. It's going to be a fairly short video. I just wanted to put something out there for parents because now is such a trying time, and if anyone else's kids are like my kids, they're definitely having a rough time right now with the isolation and staying home and not seeing their friends and not being able to go to school. So I just thought I'd give some resources to parents to help their kids through this difficult time. So we'll start out with what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is basically just a fancy way of saying being present in the moment. So a lot of the time it brings to mind this image of sitting very still, deep breathing, meditation, where for kids it's really something different. Kids are already very much so programmed to live in the moment. They're already quite good at it, but we've all seen those times where their emotions maybe get the better of them, and or maybe they get in a little stressed, or they get into sort of that malaise of maybe watching TV or looking at a screen. So this is just to help them take those moments and become more mindful. Because what are the benefits of mindfulness? It is better for your whole system. It is a holistic benefit to your entire body, your entire system. Very good for your nervous system, very good for your muscles. If your muscles aren't clenched, then they're able to relax. Good for blood pressure, good for heart rate. So how do you practice mindfulness with your kids? You do not have to try to get them to sit down and sit still and close their eyes and listen to, or do some deep breathing for 5 minutes. And, and that's just probably going to lead to some frustration. So what can you do? Some things that you can actually put into practice today, right now, is really become aware yourself and really take those moments. If you see your child becoming frustrated or you see them becoming anxious, to first of all tell them that it's okay to pause, to take a pause and just do some breathing. Some techniques that work great is you can start with what is called smell the flowers and blow out the candle. So you breathe in through your nose, like you're smelling a beautiful flower. And visualization works very well for children as well, to get their imagination involved. So you ask them to breathe deep through their nose like they're smelling a flower, and to blow out through their mouth like they're blowing out birthday candles. Another thing is belly breathing. So tell your child to put their hands on their belly and breathe deep down in their belly so they can feel their belly expand. And what you're doing here is actually, the fancy word for it is diaphragmatic breathing. You're breathing deep in your diaphragm. And what that actually does is it's actually having a response in your body of triggering your parasympathetic nervous system. And what that does is that sends a signal to your nervous system that it's okay to calm down. Your sympathetic nervous system is the one that triggers the fight or flight response, which you do not have to be in mortal peril for your body to feel like it's in danger or to feel like it's being threatened. Anxiety floods the body with, adrenaline and other hormones that put your body into a stressed state. Taking deep breaths Diaphragmatic breathing deep in your belly is what tells your body to switch that off. And it's not immediate, it does take time, but that is the trigger that tells your body that it's okay to calm down. If we can stop and be taking deep breaths, then it means we're not in danger. If, like me, you have a child that maybe can get a little frustrated or maybe a little angry while they're doing something, what you can do again is, call for a pause, call for a, I mean, you can say stop. There's no reason why you can't, but I prefer the word pause. You can do something called, the pause button. Basically, if you see things ramping up, if you see emotions growing out of control, or maybe if you have more than one child like I do, you see them starting to bicker with each other, just call, like, you're hitting the pause button. Just tell them we're hitting the pause button, everything's stopping, we're taking a pause. And if you do have maybe little ones that are getting frustrated, you can tell them to squeeze all their muscles as hard as they can for 5 seconds and count to 5, and just squeeze everything. And then at the count of 5, let it go. It's probably no revolutionary thing to suggest going outside. Unfortunately, it looks like this weekend we won't be able to do that. It's May now, and we're supposed to get some pretty nasty weather this weekend. But if you go outside, really engage your child. Ask them what they see, what they smell, what they hear. Have them describe it to you. Have them, really be in the moment. Don't be, rushing on to the next thing, or, oh, we have to get here, we have to get there, which right now it's a little easier to do because there aren't many places to go. But one of my favorite things I remember when I was a child was just looking for 4-leaf clovers, just laying in the grass and looking for 4-leaf clovers. And, it takes a lot of meticulous attention, and being in that moment of trying to sort through all of those tiny clovers. Sometimes I found one and I was incredibly excited. Most of the time I did not, but I just really enjoyed that, I recall. And that's another way for children to be mindful. A fun way, blowing bubbles. Not only are you engaging your breathing, but bubbles. So bubbles are a great way to be in the moment, be joyful, enjoying those. There's something very magical about bubbles, but you're also getting your breathing involved. They're also having to take those deep breaths to blow, onto the bubble wand and make those bubbles. And lastly, I would just say to explore gratitude. Really working at gratitude is a great practice for life. It's a great way to shift your child's outlook as well as your own. I think a lot of us tend to think that gratitude is something that comes naturally, or maybe some of us are just born, more grateful than others, or maybe some of us were born, with more things to be grateful for. But actually, gratitude is really a skill that can be learned and can be cultivated. So I would recommend that for anybody, especially in this time. It's so easy to get, looking at the negative, or even not even the negative, just what's really going on, and getting very downtrodden, very, disappointed with all the things that we can't do right now, all the things that, all the people we're missing. But it has this sort of opposite effect where you can really sit down with your child if they're missing grandma, or they're missing, grandpa, or they're missing seeing their friends, that you can turn that into an opportunity to really explore how grateful they are for their friends, for their family, for their pet, or their room, or, something that, whatever's personal to them. but it is something that it is best to practice, and it is best to work at, and it's best to consciously bring it into your life, and it will definitely help through this time. So those are just a few recommendations. Hopefully this helps you out as we all get through this COVID-19 shutdown. Do practice these with your children. It does take some involvement on the part of the parents. And the good thing with that is that as you're practicing mindfulness with your children, you will also be exploring mindfulness with yourself without even realizing that you're doing it. It does become something that you start doing almost automatically when you get those moments of frustration, or you get those moments of disappointment, or even depression. It's not about chastising yourself. It's not about chastising your children for having those emotions. It's about being able to be mindful in the minute, in that moment, recognize how you are feeling, including the negative, because those feelings are just as important as the positive. We can't be happy all the time. We can't be joyful all of the time, but we really need to allow ourselves to feel all of our feelings, and our children definitely need that space as well. And mindfulness is a great way to pause in the moment and really allow your children to explore how they're feeling. It's not about shutting off those negative feelings. It's about maybe not lashing out with them, maybe not reacting to them, but mindfully responding to them. And these are skills that will help your kids through their entire life. So now is just a good time to maybe start cultivating those. It'll be good for their health and their mental health and well-being, and it will be good for yours too. So thank you for joining me today. I hope this was helpful. If you do like this program, or if you have suggestions for other programs, please do contact us at the Macedon Public Library. You can send an email to macedonlibrarydirector@owwl.org. We are also on Facebook under Macedon Public Library, Mac_Ribbit. We are on Twitter, as well as YouTube now, which may even be where you found this video. But we would really appreciate any feedback. Let us know if you're liking what we're doing, or if there's anything you want to see in the future. Thank you very much.